What's going on, everyone? Today we have the Infinite Off-Road flush mounts for the Jeep JL and Jeep JLU. So as you can see, it's not as square or boxy as an OEM or any other aftermarket ones. It definitely is going to sit much more flush against the body of the Jeep. As far as the plugs go, I'm pretty happy about this. It's OEM quality and there is a resistor built in, so I'm not worried about any flashing with the turn signals. Alright, this install is not going to be too hard. We are going to jump right into this with a couple easy steps. All right, so using a flathead screwdriver, you're going to take this tab and just pop it right up. This is going to show the screw that loosens the tail light. So looking down into that hole, you can see the screw here. This is actually the same size as the supplied kit for your Jeep, like taking the doors and top off, so you can use that. I'm going to put it on an electric screwdriver and pull this thing out pretty fast. All right, so going to the back side now, we're going to wiggle this tail light out, and it's just popping right out because there's nothing holding it other than the wire harness and the screw that you just pulled out. Popping that harness out, there might be like a little red clip that you have to slide. It's kind of like a lock. Just slide that and then push down right in the middle of that clip, and it should pop right out. All right, so we're going to take the mounting plate off of the back of the original taillight that was in the Jeep and put it into the new one. This is the only way that the screw will be able to go inside, so we do have to be able to remove it. Your factory one should look very similar to this one. Mine is aftermarket, but it is the same piece that would be needed for the same project. So you would be using the same 3 screws and you would just be removing it from the back and putting it on the new one, just like any other taillight. All right, so heading over to the new taillight, we're going to put that backing plate on, and it's pretty simple. It can only go one way, and it's the only way that makes sense. If you have any questions or is this right? Just kind of hold it up to the Jeep. The screw hole should be pointing upward because it is going upward into the back of the Jeep. So that's kind of a good way to remember that. All right, screwing those 3 screws in, we are going to head to the mounting plate for the resistor. All right, so for this, I'm going to grab some double-sided 3M tape. This is the mounting plate that they gave, but I'm going to do things a little bit differently here. All right, so I'm going to take that 3M tape, I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to use 1/2 of it for the first resistor. I'm going to put this on the back of the taillight. Very similar to mounting it with the mounting plate, just less screws, and I had this 3M tape easily accessible. And after playing around with the configuration, I chose the top of the taillight to be the better spot for it to stick. It stays out of the way, and again, it really doesn't matter just as long as it's not in the way when you mount it. Hold it down for a good 3 or 5 seconds, make sure that it adheres, and you are good to go. All right, we're going to plug the plug right into the factory harness. It is going to slide in just the same way that you unplugged the other one. Make sure you clip that little red clip in so that it secures it and slide it into spot. You may need someone to hold it for you while you hold the screw or get it ready. Sometimes it does sit there by itself, but it could fall out and scratch the back of your Jeep, so just be careful with that. All right, it's time to take that same screw that we took out of the factory one and put it into the new one. After you finish tightening that up, put the cover back on and let's go to the passenger side. This side should be a breeze for y'all. Again, same 3 screws, transfer this backing plate onto the new taillight, screw it in, plug it in, do what you got to do, and we're going to get to the light show. Let's see how these things actually look in the dark. And in the daylight, actually. Let's go see how they look in the daylight too. All right, so I lowered the camera settings down so you could see the outline of the taillights. This does not depict the brightness of the taillights, so just stay tuned for the clip on that, but these are just the patterns and what they look like. All right, for the brake lights and the hazards, we are going to see the left turn signal, we're going to see the right turn signal, and then of course the hazards. As you can see, these look amazing. They kind of mimic the OEM Gladiator taillights. I really enjoy those too, so yeah, the fitment's perfect, everything is nice, and they're super bright for the DRLs. Huge shout out to Infinite Off-Road for sending these over to me to test and review. Everything went super well, they're super easy to install, and they look really good. If you have any more questions about any of the products listed in the video, you can check in the description, and if you want to see more, check me out on other platforms.